So it's my pleasure to present what I believe to be the most elegant, efficient platform for navigating using a CM. We're all human. Even spine surgeons, we make resolutions every year that sometimes we don't manage to keep the entire year. What's the problem? Spinal navigation has been around since the 1990s, yet adoption has stalled at approximately 30%. It's very limited use in short segment surgeries, and it's almost non-existent in pain therapy. Why? Well, there's a lot of reasons. It costs a lot of money. Whether it's cost effective is also an open-ended question, but also there's a lot of learning curve for not only the physicians, but the staff. And this is a big issue. My staff turned over all of the time. And if the person who knew how to navigate or set up all this stuff wasn't there, I defaulted to CR almost immediately. And also it's hard to sell this stuff up. It takes a little bit of time and slows me down. There's no room for it in my ASC. There's no way I'm going to convince my surgery center partners to buy a fancy navigation platform that only I'm going to use. So the solution is the VUZE medical platform. It adds missing capabilities to CM guidance, which are already in place. And what it does, it basically merges a standard intraoperative x-ray on top of an existing CT scan or a 3D scan, which can be obtained in the operating these days. And what's excellent is it gives me immediate axial and sagittal view, which are key to navigation. And all it requires is a standard 2D CN and an on-cart PC running the VUZE software. The software detects an unmodified tool, so there's no attachments to the tool, in addition to being no cameras or fiducials. It co-registers this X-ray image on top of the CT. It displays the tool in real time on the cross-section of the CT scan. And it does all this by simple image processing. As I said, no cameras, no markers, no references. Prior to surgery with standard CT or you obtain it intraoperatively, you can use the software platform to plane your pedicle screw entry point as well as your skin incision, which is quite helpful as the trajectory of the screw. Your instrument is placed on the skin. Typically one x-ray is taken in a pseudo AP. If you move the needle in to where you anticipate going down, a second x-ray to verify the position. And again, there's no need to get a perfect AP and no need to take a lateral, which is actually quite disarming when I played with the system for the first time. You just simply need to be 10 degrees apart to register. So once you have those two x-rays 10 degrees apart and you're on target, you accept the trajectory. It gives you real-time instrument trajectory and depth, which is displayed on these CT images, which is extremely helpful to us. But you can also see the, obviously the CR image as well. And simply inserting and progressing the tool down requires only one pseudo AP x-ray. As long as you don't deviate more than 3 degrees off your planned trajectory, again, there's no need to take a lateral or move the CR. So what's out there? Well, all the mainstream solutions are essentially relying on technology which came around in the 1990s, which is basically optical tracking. Some of the newer applications have included augmented reality glasses and also flash registration, which adds some value, but doesn't always solve the problem of pure skin MIS. And if you look to the right, there's a lot of stuff to keep track of, a lot of ways this can go wrong. You can bump the fiducial, somebody's head gets in the way of the camera, there's blood on one of the balls, etc. There's also some newer instrumentation, which are basically handheld iPhones, which you have to attach an instrument to, put it in a bag, and then attach it to your pedicle screw. But it doesn't really tell you. You have to find the entry point when you use these, and then it'll give you basically a trajectory all the way down. So it really doesn't solve the navigation problem as we see it. So what's going on out there? Well, what are the opportunities for a company like this? First is imaging. I spent time at the RSNA meeting last year. Many companies are already doing 3D scans. So their C-arm that they're selling, as your obsolescence of your C-arms go out, these are coming in. You'll be able to take an O-arm image if you buy a 3D C-arm. Why won't they navigate spine surgery next? I think they would go after that market in a minute. Simple to add on, you build it into the platform, and you can add a revenue package onto this if you want to sell a navigation platform. The large strategic, it fills a gap in their existing navigation platforms, which, as we all know, are basically sitting in most hospitals, but a lot of us are moving to surgery centers. It also gives you an opportunity to convert those 70% of the surgeons who are not really doing navigation, they're doing short segment surgery. It gives them an entree to navigation. It's an easy way in and gradually walk them up the ladder to adoption of more complex technologies.
And for the smaller companies, a couple of which are represented here today, this is a great way to outflank your competition, and it's a beautiful way to be a surgeon engagement gateway opportunity. And last but not least, our friends in the interventional pain space. They get a navigation platform for their surgeons or their interventionalists. Not only will they improve their outcomes, which is a big question, they will also attract a lot of spine surgeons to their technologies. So what's going on with VUZE? They have FDA approval, S1 through T7 through S1. They have 12 granted patents. It's also granted for co-use with existing robotics platforms, augmented reality glasses, machine learning, and traditional navigation. They're working, and I tested this the last time I was at their lab, a tandem mode where you can simultaneously track two instruments inserted independently and see them both at the same time, even if they're in different positions. They've done 85 cases in Israel using 12 surgeons. They had over 30 surgeons visit their cadaver lab, and the surgeon feedback that I've heard consistently over the guys I've seen in the labs and in the field, never having to take a lateral is a big deal. It's one that slows you down and sucks up a lot of time. And it also provides us with without the complex, cumbersome navigation systems by using plain X-ray. David is an Israeli seasoned entrepreneur with 2 successful exits, interestingly, one in the navigation space and one in imaging. So half the team that you're seeing in that picture have been with him at the previous 2 companies. So they have about $12.2 million invested to date. They're raising anywhere from $2 to $5 million, primarily to expand pilot programs in the US and try to find opportunities to work with strategic partners. As you saw those 3 verticals I discussed, imaging companies, interventional pain, and spine companies, it would help the company gain direction with a strategic partnership in order to formulate solutions specific to that particular vertical. Thank you very much.